Every morning, millions of people around the world wake up feeling exhausted. We rush through our mornings, swallow our breakfasts, and spend hours stuck in traffic or crowded trains just to get to a job that drains us. And when the day finally ends, we return home completely exhausted, with zero energy left for anything we truly care about. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? But why do we put ourselves through this day after day, month after month, year after year? Today, we're going to dive deep into how your job might actually be ruining your life and what you can do about it. So, how do you know if it's time to quit your job and move on? First, pay attention to the signs of burnout. If every day feels meaningless, if Sunday evenings fill you with dread, if you're constantly anxious or losing sleep thinking about work, these aren't just passing moods. They're huge, flashing signals that something isn't right. But even recognizing these signals, many people hesitate to leave. Why? Because of fear. Fear of instability, fear of judgment, or fear of failure. We cling to comfort, even if that comfort is actually making us miserable. Let me ask you something. Would you rather experience temporary uncertainty or a lifetime of regret? Choosing the right job isn't about picking the biggest paycheck. It's about finding something that aligns deeply with your values, strengths, and personal interests. Most people follow a simple formula. They pick the highest paying job, thinking money equals happiness. Sure, financial stability matters, but at what cost? If your work steals all your joy and leaves you empty, can any paycheck make it worth it? Real happiness comes when your work aligns with who you truly are, your values and inner beliefs. For some people, that's creativity. Artists, designers, or writers who genuinely love creating something new every day. For others, it might be helping people directly, teachers, therapists, medical professionals, or community workers. And for someone else, happiness might mean having complete freedom, being a freelancer, or starting their own business. The point is, there's no universal recipe. The first step to finding the right job is asking yourself honestly, what makes me truly happy? What do I care deeply about? If you haven't asked yourself these questions before, now's the time. Research from psychology clearly states that job satisfaction isn't based primarily on salary, but on having meaningful tasks, good relationships at work, and the sense that you are contributing something valuable to the world. This is what creates lasting happiness and motivation. But choosing correctly also means knowing yourself deeply. Do you prefer routine or unpredictability? Do you thrive on collaboration or do you work best alone? Are you more comfortable with clear directions? Or do you want autonomy in your projects? Ask yourself these questions. Write down honest answers and compare them to your current job. If there's a big mismatch, maybe it's time to reconsider your path. You owe yourself a life that feels authentic, not forced. Sometimes, theory isn't enough to convince us. Let's talk about real people, real choices, and real happiness after daring career changes. Meet Sarah, who worked 10 years in marketing. On paper, her life was successful. Good salary, stable position. But every Sunday night, anxiety gripped her heart. Her job felt meaningless, repetitive, and draining. Eventually, after years of inner struggle, she made the leap and opened a small cafe. Yes, her earnings initially decreased, but she found passion and energy she hadn't experienced in years. Her relationships improved, her health stabilized, and every day became meaningful. Then there's Daniel, a lawyer at a prestigious firm. He worked 12-hour days, rarely saw his family, and constantly felt stressed and unfulfilled. One day, his daughter asked why he was never home. That simple question made him reconsider everything. He left the firm to teach law at a local university. Now, Daniel has fewer luxuries, but infinitely more happiness, family time, and fulfillment. And finally, consider Anna, who felt stuck in a retail job that crushed her creativity. Every morning she dreaded going to work, feeling trapped and undervalued. After months of hesitation, she finally enrolled in an online graphic design course. She switched careers, landing a job that paid slightly less initially, but allowed her creativity to flourish. She regained energy, confidence, and, most importantly, a sense of purpose. These stories have one crucial thing in common. All these people were scared to take the leap, but when they finally did, not a single one regretted the decision. Psychology studies confirm this pattern. Most people who voluntarily switch jobs to better align with their values report increased happiness and satisfaction, even if they initially faced some challenges. But let me be clear, these stories aren't just to convince you to blindly quit your job tomorrow. They illustrate that change, although scary, is often necessary and rewarding. Before you make a big move, carefully evaluate your own life and ask yourself the most important question. Does my job give me more than just money? Does it fulfill me emotionally and personally? This isn't just motivational talk. It's real, actionable advice. And it's important to remind you, there's no one-size-fits-all solution. Maybe your job isn't the issue. Maybe it's the way you approach it or manage your work-life balance. But if deep down you feel something isn't right, give yourself permission to consider the alternatives. After all, it's your life. Shouldn't you feel truly alive? Ultimately, what I've shared today is an objective look at how work affects our lives. Only you can truly know if your current job is the right one for you, or if it's silently taken away your joy. Reflect deeply, be honest with yourself, and trust your intuition. The choice and the responsibility is always yours.